So to start with our coffee painting session, we should know what we need for coffee painting. So first of all, we need to have 3 mixtures of coffee mix. So this one is 2 teaspoon of coffee, just the regular coffee grounds, with no sugar, no milk. So not 3 in 1, okay? So in this one, you should have here like 1 teaspoon, and here about 3/4 or a half teaspoon of coffee. The water here is so little because this is like a watercolor. So if you want to make darker um, uh, parts of your painting, then you need more coffee and less water. And this one is the mid, so you can look for the mid part, probably here, because this is our darkest. So this is our mid part, so this is the mid part. So mid dark. And for the lightest, we need more water and less coffee pigments. So this also works like watercolors, if you have tried your watercolors. Okay, so we also need some few brushes. So if you have different kinds of brushes, make sure that you have them clean and dry. So like for this one, we have the flat brush. So this is called a flat brush. This is a round brush with a pointed tip. And also this is a round brush, but it's a smaller size. So you should also have smaller sizes. This is also a round brush, but a smaller size for your details. And this is a longer brush with a longer and finer and pointed tip. This is called the rigger brush. Okay, so also for our so I have other different kinds of brushes. So this is the fan brush, right? So you can use different kinds of brushes, and you can just use one brush. So let us start with the very basic. So we can use this round brush, rounder at the bottom, and there's a pointed tip. Okay, so that's it. So that is it. So we also should have jars of clean water. So you should have at least 2 jars of water. You can use recycled bottles like this. I have this with me for a long time now. So you can also have like pretty jars like this, right? Right. So also, what we need is your paper. So I have here my watercolor paper taped onto my board already. If you don't have a board like this is like a waterproof board. This is a whiteboard marker, double-sided whiteboard marker. Whiteboard. So this is your paper with taped onto this. This is watercolor paper taped onto a double-sided whiteboard. So if you don't have the whiteboard, then you can use thicker cardboard. Okay, so you have to tape it on all sides so that it will not warp or it will not move. All right, and I've placed here some of my examples of coffee painting. So this is a quick 10-minute painting. So let me show that to you. So this is a beach scene, and this is flowers. So we did some techniques here also, and it would be nice to know for kids too that you can use your old toothbrush in making this splatters. So I used my old toothbrush with the splatter. I will show it to you later how to use it. And we did this watercolor. I'm sorry for this. We did this coffee painting last time during our. We did this coffee painting during our online free art workshop, which we show every Tuesdays and Thursdays on my Facebook. We do this FB Live every 10 a.m. TTH. So we have this. We've done a coffee painting session and we did this. So I think we're gonna redo this thing so that we will already have a finished version, and then we will follow this. Okay, so with coffee painting, we just need patience because it takes a while for it to dry. So I'm gonna put this aside, and this one I'm gonna put it here. So I'm gonna move things around so that you will still see it. So this is our paper. So if you have your pencils with you, we can sketch this. Let me just a part of it. I will sketch it on my paper. So this is the center, so I'm gonna drop my horizon a little bit lower here. This is our horizon, so that we will know where to paint. So this is our tree. So there, I will not do the tree so that I can paint it freely there. Okay, so just to guide, we just did some sketch there. Sometimes I don't sketch anymore so that I don't have to have problems with my pencil marks. All right, so what we're going to do is we'll try to do the background first. So we're going to do the wet and wet technique. So wet and wet is just painting clean water. Just load your brush with clean water. There. Up to this. To the line. So while it is still wet, we will dip our brush onto the lightest. This is the lightest, right? And we will get a tissue paper. And we will make some clouds. So your tissue paper, you crumple your tissue paper like this, longer. And we will dip it onto our can you see? There. So we have a few clouds. So we're trying to make clouds. We may not be able to recreate this whole thing exactly, but we will do it as our guide. Okay? There. So we already have our clouds. Right? We will move this here because you will not be able to see it, right? So we've done this. We'll try to scoop up some excess water here, and we will wait for it to dry. So while we're waiting for it to dry, we're going to do the lower part. This one is dried up, so we can do a dry brush. So what the techniques that I've been using are found in our videos at our online free art workshop. So you can find our watercolor techniques that are useful also in doing coffee painting. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some here. So this is dry, this is not wet. I'm going to use, I think I'm gonna use here the darker mix. Here also, I'm going to put the darker mix. So you've seen that we also don't paint like completely, because in watercolor and coffee painting, we don't use white. So we indicate the white parts of the painting with the white of the paper. So we don't have to paint it. That's why we lifted out here some pigments here. This is called the lifting out wet. And this one we did some like negative spaces, or the white spaces, we just left it out to indicate that it has like the white. Okay, so we are going to do also, we're gonna paint our I hope this is already dry. Let me check that. So I did the like the darker part. I'm going to use a smaller brush this time. Make sure that this part is already dry. So while we're doing that also, you should try the different sizes of our brush. It will help us also define different branches here. So you can see the difference. This is the lightest, this is the mid dark, and this is the darkest. This one I love using because it's really, you can define your branches. Okay, so we have here, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to use this fan brush to make the leaves. So we're making the leaves. If you don't have a fan brush, it's okay. You can use other brushes. You can still do this with your round brush. The what I love about the round brush is that it has a tip that you can make your details. Okay, you can make your details there. Okay, so I think I'm good with this. And we will make some scratches on the painting. While it is wet, we're going to make scratches that it would look like weeds. This will only be effective if you do it while the paper is trying to dry. If it is already dry, this won't work. So there. So we have some weeds, we have like a puddle here or whatever that you think it may be. And let me just, okay. Right. So we've already used our different. So again, we have already used our different brushes to paint. So what we will do next is we will try to do some weeds in this color. The scratching will make it like white, and this we will balance it with some dark. So we will paint again. Just a few things to add a little bit of. There. So it's so we've got some weeds there, and we'll do some birds. I think I just need like 3 birds. Three, I don't think. I just need 2 more. There. And we will try to do like some splattering here. Did some splattering with the darker, and then I'm gonna cover it so that it will not affect the other parts of my painting. There. I think we're good. So this is our coffee painting. And again, happy birthday, Gianna. I hope you guys had fun with our short video for coffee painting. See you guys, and I hope you join us in our art workshops with Day Sevillano. Thank you.